with recent news of another potential blockbuster acquisition by Microsoft, this time with the software behemoth purportedly in talks to acquire Discord, the communications company which was originally developed for gamers to correspond, but now serves as a central location for anyone to connect with friends and to develop communities with individuals with similar interests. So with another large acquisition rumored to be on the horizon, I thought examining the largest acquisitions in Microsoft's history would be an interesting opportunity to traverse the history of a company whose position is that of almost unparalleled consequence. Founded in 1975, Microsoft made its first acquisition in 1987 by purchasing Forethought, a company best known as the developers of what eventually became Microsoft PowerPoint. Purchased for $14 million, thereafter, Microsoft would go on to acquire companies, large and small, some which marked its entrance into sizable new markets, while others served more as enhancements or acqui-hires to existing segments. Of Microsoft's many acquisitions, 12 of them have been worth over $1 billion. In this video, we will explore the 5 largest of these acquisitions. Since becoming CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella has presided over some of the largest acquisitions in the company's history, as he ventures to ensure Microsoft's success in areas of cloud computing, social networking, gaming, and the development community. In fact, of the 5 largest acquisitions, 3 of them have occurred under the leadership of Nadella. In 2013, as part of one of the final acts as CEO, Steve Ballmer decided to further the prospects of Microsoft's position in the mobile industry by acquiring Nokia's devices and services business for $7.2 billion. Dovetailing this acquisition was Microsoft's efforts to increase its market share of the smartphone and mobile OS industry. Mobile is a sensitive area for Microsoft, with its founder, Bill Gates, conveying the company's inability to ultimately capture a large share of the mobile industry as his biggest regret for the company. And considering Microsoft develops the dominant OS for computers, it appeared the company was positioned to extend itself to serve mobile devices. Ultimately, in 2017, the company officially ended its support of its last mobile OS under the Windows Phone moniker, capitulating to its inability to achieve meaningful market share in the mobile OS industry. In 2018, with Nadella now in his 4th year as the CEO, the company acquired the open source development platform GitHub for $7.5 billion. Historically, Microsoft wasn't known for being the most cooperative with the open source community, but over time the company has worked to diminish its contentious relationship with the community. To confer the transition of the company's perspective regarding open source, when discussing the acquisition, Nadella committed to Microsoft being all in on open source. The strategic value for Microsoft is obvious, as it looks to increase the use of its own development tools by the millions of developers using the GitHub platform. Over the years, Microsoft has methodically narrowed its focus under Nadella while retreating from consumer products, with the exception of its thriving gaming division led by Xbox. Microsoft expanded its first-party game studios by purchasing ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion in 2020. As Xbox competes with PlayStation in what is traditionally referred to as the console wars, and with the latest Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 effectively indistinguishable in performance, owning studios that develop games for the consoles is increasingly a critical strategic advantage, with the hopes that the studios would develop must-have exclusive games that convince customers to purchase their consoles over the other. After acquiring the company, Microsoft acquired control over influential series like The Elder Scrolls, Doom, Fallout, Dishonored, and many others. This only adds to the already popular titles like Halo, Minecraft, Gears of War, and Sea of Thieves, among others, that are under the Microsoft and Xbox umbrella. Then the largest acquisition in the company's history, Skype, in 2011, was acquired for $8.5 billion. Coincidentally, the same year, another video communications company was founded, Zoom. Although Skype benefited from shifting habits of individuals during the pandemic, with its daily active users at one point increasing to 40 million, it is still far from its peak when it alone had 8 million paying subscribers, in addition to its 100 million active users. As Microsoft purchased Skype though, other communication apps like WhatsApp, Messenger, Snapchat, and WeChat were gaining momentum and challenging Skype's dominance. As Skype attempted to redesign itself and transition to technology infrastructure more appropriate for the preferences of users, it suffered technical and UI difficulties. The future of Skype remains highly questionable, with the emergence and success of Microsoft Teams, and as it continues to develop out its features, the purpose of Skype as a service diminishes. Concluding the list, and Microsoft's largest acquisition by significant multiples is the professional social networking service LinkedIn. Acquired in 2016, the social networking service was a giant bet for the company, which seems to have paid off. Since 2016, every important metric of the company has grown, from users which increased from 467 million in 2016 to more than 700 million in 2020. Further, revenue grew from $2.27 billion in 2017 to over $8 billion in 2020. Considering the company's growth rate and current size, a standalone LinkedIn would conceivably garner the valuations of other social networking companies of comparable size, such as Twitter, Snapchat, and Pinterest, which have market caps ranging from $40 to $80 billion. The success of LinkedIn under Microsoft 4 years since being acquired is difficult to argue. Restricting the list of companies Microsoft acquired to the 5 largest does not sufficiently detail the extensive history of Microsoft's acquisitive nature, but it does provide an insight into the areas the company considers essential to its future, such as social networking and education, its successful Xbox consumer products, and its emphasis on open source and developer tools. With another potential large acquisition with Discord, which if actually occurs would make it Microsoft's second largest purchase, would indicate another important direction for the company, an area they're already focused on with their Microsoft Teams and Skype products, communication. Thanks for watching. Until next time.